so when you look at it, for me, C.J. Stroud being able to pull this off, fellas, without his #1 receiver, I think their #1 tackler was out, their starting safety, their starting kicker, all out of the game. He's made up for all that and invigorated this team with energy.
On schedule, off schedule, he just he has the thing that the great players seem to possess. And because we're not great at nuance, it can't just be this guy's going to win the Rookie of the Year for the offensive player. You're hearing 3 letters being mentioned next to his name. Those letters are MVP. Is that reasonable?
It's reasonable to have him in the conversation. C.J. Stroud's last 2 weeks doesn't put him at the top of the MVP conversation. And I know for you, Scott, you think to yourself, okay, let's not jump the gun. And you're absolutely right. But the fact that he is in this conversation, playing for the Houston Texans with the rookie coach in D'Amico Ryans speaks volumes of what this young man has accomplished. And he also, when you go into Cincinnati and you're playing against a Cincinnati Bengal team that's healthy, Marcus, and playing as well as they do, you have that mistake, come back and win. That says a lot for the type of player you are, but more than anything, the type of person you are at that position.
And why wouldn't we put him in the conversation? I think this is one of those anomaly years where you don't have anybody that's significantly taking the mantle at this point like we've seen in the past.
For sure. That feels like as much as anything. Because, look, we take Mahomes for granted at this point. It's a lot of Tiger Woods in that. Like, you're just like, oh, you win the Masters again. Well, Mahomes can throw for 4 touchdowns, and you go, and? You know what I mean? Anybody else, I think you freak out. But how much of it is that? Just that other players have, to a degree, opened the door. And in these last 2 weeks, after the loss to Carolina, he's answered in a big way.
Well, I think you see 2 turnovers on the year. That's a big deal for a rookie. And then, 2, to RC's point, you go into Cincinnati, who a week ago I had the 2nd best team in the AFC, and win a game after adversity hits. I think that's the part that people miss. We can talk about CJ and how well he's played. We now saw him respond in real time to what could have been a game-ending interception for the Cincinnati Bengals. So to me, that is when you start having a conversation about, well, what stadium is he going to walk in and be fearful of? What stadium is he going to walk in and not have that success? RC has raved about Lou Anarumo for the last 3 years. We just saw a rookie carve his defense up, and which is an anomaly. I think the conversation is worthy.
Yeah, the conversation is worthy, and you have to remember, he just did this against one of the most feared closers in the game, Joe Burrow. Looked him dead in his face and said, who do you think you are? I am. That's what C.J. Stroud ended up doing. So I don't think he's at the top, but he is certainly in the conversation.
I know we have to get to Adam, but remember this is the Texans. This was the team we said no one wanted to play for. This was the team we said no head coach wanted to be hired to. And now they're with a winning record with a quarterback and a head coach that could be up for postseason accolades.
Already have a road win at Jacksonville, already have a road win at Cincinnati. That's 2 road wins over playoff teams a year ago. It's 5-4. It's mid-November, and we're talking about the Texans. It's remarkable. Let's welcome in Adam Schefter, as you alluded to. And Adam, look, we're talking about a young man in C.J. Stroud who joined us last week off a nice win, and he's doubled up on it. What's the chatter around the league about MVP and this rookie for Houston?
Well, Scott, a little bit more context to this right now. Through 9 games, there's only 2 quarterbacks in history that have thrown for more yards than C.J. Stroud. That was Andrew Luck in 2012 and Justin Herbert in 2020. He's making this team competitive, and here we are for the 2nd straight week, opening up Monday Night Countdown, talking about the Houston Texans. That in and of itself tells you how much C.J. Stroud has meant to that organization, how he's put this team back on the map, and the fact that he is in that conversation is the big one here. Rookie of the Year, give it to him now.
No doubt.
MVP, let's see.
Perfectly said, because look, you're going to have time. You're going to have a couple months to prove it. If he's as good as he's shown these last couple games, you're going to get a lot of prove-it games over the course of this next couple months. If Houston can throw itself into the playoff discussion for real.